everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all, I'm hopping on to answer a few questions. Stay tuned. So if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know that paper crafting is my jam, and you know that I love to share it with you guys. Welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you decided to stop by, and welcome to all of my new subscribers and to all of my new friends. Welcome back to all of my longtime subscribers and longtime friends. Thank you all so much for the wonderful ways in which you support me and my channel. For those of you who might be interested, I would love to have you join my Patreon. Joining my Patreon helps to support my channel. It helps to make it possible for me to continue to bring this wonderful free content to you guys. So for those of you who have signed up for my Patreon or you are a member of my monthly members group, thank you all so much for that extra effort in helping me to support the operational side of running a YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. In a recent video, I stepped way outside of my comfort zone to make my version of a junk journal, and I themed it Alice in Wonderland. Well, thank you all so much. I loved your comments and I love the support that you gave to my first attempt. I don't know if I'll ever do another junk journal, y'all, because it is a lot of work. A lot of man hours will go into doing one of these journals. So I don't know if I'll do another one, but there were questions about certain parts of this journal, and that's why I'm on today, because I'm going to answer those questions, and hopefully those answers will help you to make your own beautiful junk journal. So I'm going to switch to my overhead camera so that we can go through some of those questions. All right, so here is that junk journal. And the first question that I received was, what did you use? Well, I used an old composition book. I don't have any more old composition books that I'm willing to tear out the pages to make a new journal. The old composition books that I have actually have notes and scribblings of things that I might want to do with the channel. So there was one in particular that I didn't mind ripping out the guts to make this journal, but the other old composition books that I have, they are valuable to me, so I'm not going to be deconstructing those to show you how to make the junk journal. So I am going to be starting with a brand new composition book. And this is your standard size composition book with 100 sheets in it. And what I did was I took my composition book. This one I cut it down to 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. But on this one I cut it down to 5 3/4 by 8 3/4 because I'm going to use some standard copier size paper to demonstrate how I did the inside of the book. So y'all, this is not going to be a full-blown tutorial. I'm just going to hit a couple of key parts of the journal to show you how I did it. I'm not going to make a journal. I'll just be sharing with you a couple of key elements. So if you have an old composition book, or even if you want to start with a new composition book, I cut mine down to 5 3/4 by 8 3/4. And some of you might know this, but I was sent an electronic cutter to try out and review on the channel, and the company that sent it to me is Vivor. Now I'm going to have that video linked in the description box below, because that is how I now cut items like this. But if you don't have an electronic cutter, and most people don't, all you need to do is take your ruler, make marks going this way at 5 3/4 or however big you want yours to be, and just keep making those marks. Then you're going to take that ruler, and with a very sharp finger blade, you're just going to start cutting. Now, I'm not going to cut through this. I'm just demoing how you would actually do the cuts. You just start cutting until you have cut all the way through this way. Then you decide how long you want it to be, and you follow that same process. So you can see that I took mine and it was reduced in size from this to this. And you don't have to start with the composition book. I started with the composition book because it already had a built-in spine. This was my first time making a junk journal, so I wanted to try to keep it as pain-free as possible. And I can't say that it was painful, y'all, but it was just a lot of work. So then we have to remove the inside of the journal because I'm not going to be using these pages. Now you can save some and use them if you want, but I am just going to get rid of mine And all I'm doing is cutting through the stitching that already exists, because it's going to be very easy for me to remove this journal because the stitching is so lightweight. So I'm just going to remove that. And this is what I did. I just went through and I cut out these pages by cutting through the stitching. And now all I need to do is remove these excess strings. Some of them I actually left in my other journal because I couldn't get them all to come out. And that's okay if you leave some because they really didn't get in my way. So now I have the jacket part for my journal, and then all I did was I took my Alice in Wonderland paper. I'm not going to be using that for this part of the project. I'm just going to be using this paper, which I think is beautiful. And we also have this, so you can save this to use it on another notebook that you can make down the road. So I'm going to need to join these two pieces of paper together because this is the paper that I'm choosing to use for this demonstration. Now, you guys know that I'm a big believer in using sheet paper, rolled paper, wallpaper, so you can substitute that for this as well. But this happens to be the paper that I want to use, so this is the paper that I need to join together. And I did purchase this paper from Hobby Lobby, and it's called Country Floral. It was printed in 2017. They might still have it in inventory, I'm not sure, but it is called Country Floral, and the SKU, if you're looking for it, is 1145481. So I added a strip of tape down the 11-inch side, and we're going to join our two pieces together. Like that. And then I'm just going to smooth that out. So now we have a nice cover for our book. And then I took some tape and I placed my tape across the body, all the way across the body, making sure that wherever I had a little divot, I got that tape coverage in the divot. And like I said, for those of you who might just be starting this video, you didn't watch the beginning, I am not doing a full tutorial. I'm just sharing with you some key points of what I did. So I am just going over this, and I'm going to try to get this as covered with tape as I can. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you how I put the body of the journal together, and then showing you how I added envelopes and things like that. So then I'm just going to take a little tiny piece and sneak that right in there. I think I have good enough coverage for y'all to definitely know what it is that I'm doing. So now we're going to take this and we're just going to place it down. So I am going to remove my tape backer, and then I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to place it down like this, and then I'm going to press it like this because I want to make sure that I'm getting full coverage on this, and then I laid it down. So I'm just going to go over the stitch marks and just sort of flatten that out like that. Now I'm just going to trim away my excess. I did not do a fold over. I am trimming away all excess. And then I did the same thing on the inside. I just took that complementing paper and covered the inside. For the sake of this video, I am not going to do that. I am just demoing how I got my journal cover. And then, y'all, I just took it and made sure I went back and I got my spine. So I am just taking this and doing it like this. And then I'll take it on this side where the natural spine was. I'm just bringing that back. So y'all, that is how I covered the outside of the journal. And so like I said, I went on the inside and I covered it in the same way that I covered the outside. Before I go any further, did you guys notice my shirt? It says there are no rules in paper crafting, and that is so true. I love saying that. My daughter, Baby Posh, makes these shirts for me. She has a store. I'm going to have her store linked in the description box below. She has this in long sleeve, short sleeve, blue, white. I'm not sure if she has any other colors. She has other sayings. She has created mouse pads that say there are no rules in paper crafting, and she signed them the Posh Paper Lady. So if you're interested in having some of the quirky little things that I say, she will be making t-shirts of those things. So head on over to her store. It's linked in the description box below, and see what's out there. So now that I have my jacket, here's how I did the signatures. So I am going to keep this very simple. I'm not going to put a lot of paper in here because I am just doing this to give you the heads up on how I did the journal. So I'm going to take my pages, and I have some 8.5 by 11 inch paper, and I'm just going to fold it in half like that. And then all I did was I placed mine inside like this, and I used my long arm stapler, and I placed 2 staples, one at the bottom and one at the top. And that is all that I did, y'all. So I am just going to take my long arm, and I'm going to insert a staple. At the bottom, my staples aren't perfect, but this is really for demonstration purposes. And then I'm going to place a staple here at the top. Like that. Y'all, my journal was very simple. It was not fancy at all. And then I just went back, and on the front and the back, I just smooth that out. So y'all, by no means is my journal fancy at all. It's very basic. But I want to show you how I was able to do some of those fold over inserts. So I'm going to take this envelope. We're just going to fold it in half like this. I'll crease it. Then I'm going to open the flap and just cut down the middle because we need that flap. And then I'm going to take a couple of pieces of paper just to show you how we can do this. And so because I did not staple in the center, I have room to be able to add my little inserts. So all I have to do is take this piece and just work it underneath like that. And then there it is on the front, and there it is on the back. And the same thing is true with these. So I just find the page where I want to include them, and you just take this and go underneath like that. And then this piece will show up at the back of the book. And you just keep doing that as often as you want, as long as you have a place to be able to tuck in underneath. So this is possible. This little tuckable area here is possible because I put a staple at the bottom, a staple at the top. So if you're stitching, stitch at the bottom, stitch at the top, but don't stitch in the center, and that way you'll be able to tuck in. And so y'all, that's pretty much it. Those were the most common questions that I received. What I used for the journal, how I covered the journal, how I inserted my journal pages, the signature, and then how I made it possible to have a portion of the envelope here and then a portion of the envelope here. I'm sure that those who specialize in junk journaling will say, I've been doing it like that for years, and you probably have. And this isn't meant to take away anything from those of you who might be doing this process. This is just what I did when I sat down and tried to figure out how I wanted to make a journal. And I'm sharing how I did it with those of you who asked. So I hope that what I'm sharing today will be useful to those of you who might want to start doing some type of journaling. Just remember, there are no rules in paper crafting. If you like it and you want to use it and you want to do it a certain way, then you do it your way. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is whether or not you like it and you had fun. So if you've liked this video, if it's been helpful, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.